Okay, let's get started here. So, Color Picker's out. You can go to GitHub, download it if you're on Windows. If you're on Linux, you have to build it. Shouldn't be too difficult. Um, yeah, that's pretty cool. Now, I thought I was going to take a break from working on this for a while and work on something else, but I was looking at the CPU usage of this recently, and I'm not really super happy about it. Um, this is actually like really fast. Like if we go in here, this is gonna like lag the stream. But if we go to main and we disable vsync, it's gonna like lag everything probably, but we'll see how much lagging goes on from this. Okay, so this number isn't really because we're streaming. Actually, the streaming's taking most of the resources right now, but um, so earlier when I wasn't running this with streaming, it's like 9,000 FPS. It doesn't really matter, but that might be fine for it seems fast, but fast and like efficient are like two different things. And I'd much rather this not use a ton of CPU doing nothing. Like I want it to be spending most of its time idling, waiting for the next frame boundary to occur. Um, Especially like on a laptop, I don't want to have to like close this. I want to like leave it open. Maybe I'm designing something. I got some colors pick, and I just want to leave this open. I don't want to have to worry about it like draining the battery. Which right now it probably would. um, Now some of this we actually can't really solve. Some of this is like just the way Raylib's designed. You can't really get around it, but we can reduce some paths. So one thing I did was I just quickly ran perf, which is like a Linux profiling tool, and I produced like a flame graph. So we'll just take a look at that one quickly. Let me just this is gonna be like kind of hard to read probably, but we'll bring it over. So blah blah blah. Some of this stuff we can't do anything about, like these like giant driver calls. That's just how it is. Um, Obviously, most of the Raylib calls are going to be calling this RL vertex 3F. So we can't really do anything besides reducing the amount of calls to Raylib. That's not necessarily. This is a bit annoying. They're just using signf all over the place for no reason. Um, this again annoying. Some of this is probably. Well, you know what? Like most of this is probably in Raylib. So the fact that we called like Raylib. So this is like Perf's like a sampling profiler, so it just takes a bunch of samples. So out of like 520 million samples, 9 million approximately were mem copy. Also, there's mem compare. Again, like I don't know what Raylib's doing for that, but um, usually unnecessary to be doing this. Like so, some of this there could be like mem copies in the graphics driver, which we can't do much about. That's just how the graphics driver moves stuff from the CPU to the GPU. Um, but this probably wasn't in the graphics driver, so um, yeah, that's like a bit annoying. That's just Raylib. And then we've got in a lot of places we've got. Let me see here. So we've got like a lot of these like measure text EX, like they're a lot of samples for no reason. Draw rectangle rounded. These are all Raylib things. Some of them you got to do, but like this measure text EX is in multiple places, and it's just like a ton of samples. And probably we can cache some of these results, and then probably also we could reduce all the so like the way a sampling compiler or say sampling profiler works is that it just runs your program. You just run your program, and it does like samples at a fixed interval, and then it just checks how many of those samples came back in what function. So that could be because the function's really long, or it could be because you're calling the function a ton. Um, we're not calling measure text ex that much. It's mostly it's a just inefficient function. It does a bunch of stupid stuff that it doesn't need to compute. So we'll probably be replacing that. But before we do that, we want to be able to actually measure if there's been like some improvement, and this flame graph isn't really going to help us there. So what we're going to do is add some debug specific code. Let me see here. So where do we have like debug macro checking? It's only like here. I probably don't want to. I probably want to do it later down here as well. So later on, I mean, because I want to store this in some place where it's easy to find. So let's just do an if def debug down here. We're gonna have an enum block counts. Let's do whole program or whole loop, whole whole run, I guess. I don't know. I don't have a good name for that. And then we're gonna have some more like specific ones. Do picker, do slider. And then I'm gonna move all these mem things because I already know this is just like a really slow function and it's really annoying. We're gonna have a specifically measure text. And what else do we want? So there's like two sections of this in the code. It's just how it's structured. There's like this upper portion, and then there's like the lower portion. So for now, we'll just use this as our granularity. We could do more, but let's just start with that. And then we're gonna have a struct here, debug clock count, debug clock count, and in here we're gonna have these have to be uint 64s, which I don't even know if we've defined up here. Probably not, because we don't have to use them anywhere. Yeah, so we're gonna have to just have a uint 64t for these. It's okay. Oops. CPU cycles, CC last, and we're gonna have well, this is already like 64 bytes, so might as well just make it another 64 bytes, even though it's completely unnecessary. Number of hits. Hit count. And then we're gonna have a couple macros. We're gonna have these macros should be just do nothing in the normal code, so in non-debug mode. But anyways, so we're gonna have a macro begin clock count, begin cycle count. I'm just gonna take one of these. So it's just gonna take a name, CC name, let's call it. It doesn't really matter. And what that's gonna just do is it's gonna do I need to make sure either this is global variable, which is possible, or it's stored in the context. So if it's like a global, it's kind of better if this is like a global variable, to be honest. Like debug global variable. It does mean we have to be a little bit more careful though about where we put it in that case. Well, I guess we don't. We can just declare it as extern here. So that it only gets declared once in the program. I think we will do that. Well, no, you don't want to do that because then you can't find it as like, well, it doesn't matter if it's static, I guess, or not. Okay. Oops. Let's do this as a, yeah, let's just do, we're just gonna do this. And usually I think I've been doing this for my truck naming. So I'll try to be consistent here with that. So it's just going to be a global variable. That's like fine. And then we're going to do we're going to do two things here. We're going to do CPU cycles. We're going to use like an intrinsic to do this. So we're going to do this, and we're going to do RDTSC. So actually, these are like signed int 64s. You could do it. Yeah, let's make them signed. We'll do that. That's fine. Totally fine. I don't know why I didn't save. Okay, so that's gonna be RDPSC, which is just an intrinsic that's available on anywhere where we're building this. We're gonna do that, and then we're also gonna do hit count plus plus. Else we're gonna define begin cycle count. And end cycle count. Those aren't going to do anything. And we need an end cycle count here. So the total number of cycles is just going to be I don't know why I have these, I don't think that really matters. Let's just make this a little bit more readable. This is like a bit annoying, so you have to just take the start one. I mean, you could just invert it, but whatever. Is going to be equal to RDTSC minus you do that. And that is needed. Okay, cool. So try that. We've got whole runs, so let's compile this first. Okay, so that compiles. We need to declare this somewhere. This may be a problem, but we are about to find out. I guess if you put it in main, it doesn't really matter. Put this somewhere here. Okay, so that is good. Wait, I can't be in main if this is dynamically. Yeah, this is why it should just go in the context, but I don't want to put it in the context. Come on. So whatever, we're just gonna put it here. Okay, so we got that going. So let us start by just timing this whole thing. Begin cycle count, CC whole run. Sorry. And then down here, we're gonna do end cycle count CC whole run. RDTSC should be in this intrinsic header, which should be included via utils.c. Unless this CPU doesn't support it. I mean, I guess that's possible. Let me just take a look here. I'm like using an AMD CPU. Let me see here. Or is it just 2 underscores? Oh, there might be like built-in. Oh, I think it's just on mute. Yeah, I'm not sure. The Intel's thing says it's only one says it's only one underscore, but maybe it's 2 or there's like a built-in for it. No, I think it's just 2. I don't know. I don't know why it's, yeah, who knows. So now to actually check if this is working, we're gonna run it in, well, I mean, I can just, yeah, let's just do this, right? We'll just spam the console for now. What's the thing for 64-bit integers? Probably like long, who knows? I don't think it's percent %LD. But we'll see. This should all just be in. Yeah, this can go here. I don't know why that doesn't need to be included. I don't care about how long it takes to draw FPS. Yeah, so this is going to be G, whatever I called it. I might just define a different macro so I don't have to keep typing this. Probably it was stupid to type it, call it this to begin with, but that's okay. Hey Reggie, 16660, 1660. How are you? I'm gonna do that because I'm lazy. I don't want to keep typing this over and over because I called it something stupid. Okay. So this is just gonna spam the console. Of course it's not LD, it's like just call that macro. Oops. Okay, let me just unbreak this for a second here. Okay, so that looks fine. So we're just gonna run that. Color picker is going good. That does not seem like very accurate. That's definitely not correct. Doesn't want to print the AKA long. That's not the right format though. This should be like, I'm pretty sure this should be long. Color picker is good. I did the release, but I'm just like trying to reduce the number of uh the amount of CPU it's just using because it's like way too much. And I'd like to just be able to not just leave it running on my uh laptop, for instance, without it just destroying the battery. Yeah, I don't know why this is not the right thing. Try this. No, it's still like the same just value. So this cycle count isn't really correct because it's definitely not 300,000 cycles. It should be like way more than that. Well, maybe not. Well, it should. Let's try timing some other stuff and just see if it seems reasonable in comparison to the other things. Let's just do picker and we'll see. We're gonna make this display in the window and it's gonna be like toggleable and stuff in a second here. But I just want to make sure this is like a reasonable measurement first. In cycle count, and end cycle count is way down bottom of this. I mean, I guess it's possible. Yeah, I mean that could be possible. Let's okay, so maybe that's true. We're just not gonna do this on every frame because it's a bit of a spam. Um if f count equals 10, let's say every 10, oh, sorry, 30, we're running at 60 FPS. Do this. Like, I mean, this could be like a reasonable number, to be honest. I would think though that this should be increasing the. I mean, I guess there's like not that much different code between the two cases. Um, so yeah, it's possible, I guess. Let's uh let's delete this stuff. And we're gonna make a little different function here that's just gonna draw it on the screen for us. So we're gonna do debug print info. This one's definitely gonna need the context. And we're gonna go ahead and I don't know why I haven't written that yet. Um, so we're gonna write a function here. Um, what are we doing here? Void debug print info, debug dump info. This is going to be if defined, if, like typing, if def debug we're gonna do draw, what's it called? Draw FPS 2020. And just to make sure that's being called, it is. Okay, so then we're gonna go ahead. Probably we need to reduce this reset the hint count to at some point. And also there should be like a toggle for this. We're gonna go in here. Hey Terrace, debug dump. What did just happen? If context 2, do I know the theory behind JIT compilers? If not this, I'm still gonna draw FPS, return. Okay. Like roughly, I guess. Like I haven't really looked into writing like a JIT compiler or any of that sort of stuff. Like I have a basic idea of how it works, but it's like you basically want to take like your, well, you probably know all that stuff already. So I have a basic idea. Let's put it that way. And just leave it at that. Color picker context. We do have a flags field actually. Let's use the flags field. Make that the end, I don't know. Doesn't really matter what that is. Okay, so let's do debug dump info. CPU to flags, and I already forgot what I called it. Yeah, I actually think they're like probably fun to use, or sorry, I think they're interesting to program. I don't know if they're like good practice to use a language that requires a JIT, but I think they're definitely interesting to program. Okay, so if context draw debug, if it's not set, we're going to return. Otherwise, we'll do our thingy. And we need to reset. We need to have like a reset. So we're going to do, first we're just going to figure out some stuff here. Well, maybe not. Let's not do that. For U32I equals 0, I less than CC last, I plus plus. Y offset equals, well, if this is drawing at 20, we want to draw like below that. So let's say 20 Y pad. Let's say that's 10. And then well, X is just going to be hard coded because we don't really care. Well, okay, let's do it this way. V2 position dot X equals 20 dot Y equals 20 plus Y pad. Well, actually, we need to move it past that height. So let's just make this start at 40 to begin with, I guess. Not too worried about this part. And we're going to do position.y plus equals context to font dot base size. And plus Y pad. And we're going to do draw text EX font oops. Debug dump. So context the font, the buffer, so we have to make a buffer to print this into. So let's have a 128 character buffer. I think we'll be using more than that. That's fine. And then we'll do an sprintf buff size of buff. What's it called here? So CC whole run. Technically, I could just stringify this, but could make this the whole format string. Let's not do that. do picker. It should be CC last, so it's the right length. No. Let me see here. So CC will run do picker, do slider. Okay, so we'll start off with this. And then what we'll do is we'll go into here and we'll say if we're only going to print the ones that we actually got. Then we're going to do a little bit of an S colon %LD for now. And we'll do names I and get cycles I. Buff, position, font size, color will be. Oops. Sorry, I need to go take that thing out of the oven. Be right back. So why don't we just use the default font? I don't know why we even bother using this. Have a look at I don't have it open anywhere here. Raylib cheat sheet. Draw text. Well, that's annoying actually. So do it this way. I think there's like get default font or something. Where is like the? Could have sworn it was get default font. Of course, it's called some get font default. Like, why isn't it called get default font? Just make it cryptic for no reason. Anyways, rant. Not going to use that. Actually, if we do this, we don't even need to pass in the, well, I guess, yeah, whatever. Just do it this way. Um, okay, so this, we're going to use draw text. Draw text just takes position. Just try this for now. Oops. We're not doing that because we haven't set that up yet. Let's do if key pressed. If is key pressed, what would the key be called? Is it in raylib.h? Key F1, let's say. Context to flags, XOR equals CPF draw debug. It's just gonna be a toggle. I think that's fine. So let's toggle. Not here, we need to be here. Oh, so that size does not match what they just... Cool, Raylib. Who knows why that is? They use a different size for the FPS. Debug dump. So let's assume it was like 16, I don't know. 24. Kind of ugly. We want to print the hits as well. Okay, so and we need to reset. So somewhere we need to have a. So we can just reset it. Here, I guess. I don't know. Let's let's not be so lazy. So this is gonna be cycles, hits, and then we're gonna reset this hit count to 0, I guess. This is like where it's like a little annoying. So you want to like reset this every frame, but after you've already drawn it. So let's see how this is going. That's a bit hard to read. I wonder if this is just going to be worse to read for sure, but actually that's not as bad to read. That's funny. Okay, let's try a different font size. So the hits is going to be consistent, so you should print the hits first. Um, oh, we'll use 24. 24 is fine. Let's print the hits first and then the cycles. So now this should be like reasonably okay. Now I want to probably draw like a rectangle behind this, so we can like see this a little bit better. Also, like this is gonna be hard to tell because we're not gonna know like because it like goes so fast. There's like no way for us to yeah. Okay. So it's possible that just dumping it to the console is like the way to go. Drawing it on the screen is like kind of worse. So let's actually not draw it on the screen. That was kind of a dumb plan. Get rid of this buff. And we'll do don't need this position anymore, don't need any of this junk. What we're gonna do is we're gonna say This is a problem. I mean, it's only a problem because I'm making it a problem, but this is debug code, it's fine. I just want to spam it on every frame. It's like just so laggy to do that. Let me think here. Because you gotta reset this properly on every frame regardless, so just have to break this into two loops. I don't know why I'm overthinking this. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. Ugh. Yeah, so okay. Plus plus if f count does not equal 60, we're just gonna do it once a second. Return f count equals 0. Okay, so to do the trick, if we go here, we can still toggle this. I don't know if we care about toggling it anymore though. Probably we do. That should be working. What did I do wrong here? Yeah, I didn't put a /n, so it's not flushing. Good. You gotta love printf. So we can actually see which these belongs to. Okay, so now if we do this, okay, so now we can start seeing something that's more usable. Um, Alrighty, so I don't know why I stopped that. I could just honestly I can just stay on, it doesn't matter. I don't need to see the rest of this junk. So we'll just leave that. So let's add for the other ones. Do slider mode. So now we're gonna have this. It's not gonna print 'cause it's 0, but if we go into slider mode, let's just pause that for a second. So you got picker mode here. You know, it's randomly, it's like a random amount, but let's say it's like, you know, up to 60,000 cycles. Picker mode is like almost twice as expensive, or sorry, slider mode's like almost twice as expensive as picker mode. There's just like more stuff being done, obviously. Because here we're mostly, so even the 60,000 cycles for this seems like a lot. Because here we're doing like quite a lot more work. But anyways, let's do that, and then we're gonna add this to upper and lower. I don't know if I actually care that much about right now. What do I have here? Picker slider, measure text. So measure text is going to be interesting. So I'm definitely going to be rewriting this and not using the Raylib version. So we're going to add a little wrapper here. Measure text. It's going to take a this is not a type I have yet. I'm going to add my string type. Type def struct u size lane u8 pointer data. Okay. So we got this. If I could spell stuff correctly and type everything I need to type. My little macro Dulio here. Not that. Okay, so we got that going. This is gonna take a font, and a context, SA text. That's all it needs. We're not drawing stuff at different random sizes. We draw it at the same size as the font, so so dot y is gonna, okay, sorry. For now, we're just gonna do this. Text.data casted to a char pointer. Font size is going to be font.base size 0. In cycle count, BC measure text. Okay, so we're going to do that. And then everywhere here where we're doing this, we're going to do do this. Would have had font size being passed there, but anyways, we don't care about that anymore. Measure text. Okay. Input state .len. Probably this won't complain to me, but it might. Right. This is minus buff delta. Okay. So it's S text. Not sure. Hold on, what is going on here? I just need to be careful with this length. Cursor minus buff delta. Oh, we're doing like a test here. So, yeah, the length here is the cursor. Sorry. What even is this code? I've already forgotten. Cursor minus bufflen. First of all, it should be buff. I think that was actually like the same thing up here. Yeah, this was supposed to be buff. Yeah. Right. Who don't even remember what this code was supposed to do. We guess a cursor position only sometimes. So now we have a cursor. We say that the buff at the cursor minus the buff delta, which is why does this code seem like it's super sketchy? Buff delta, buff len minus max display characters. So this is up to 64 minus like up to 8 or like let's say 0. So 64. So this just seems really weird. Cursor minus 4. What is this measurement even used for? Cursor X. Cursor rect. Does this even get... It's for this cursor X position. This is really weird. What is this even? I do see what we're trying to do here. So we're trying to measure from this start of the buffer to the cursor. I feel like this is just weird. There's like gotta be, I feel like there's a bug here. Might have to step into this part of the code. Let me just leave this one as is for now. To figure out what we're doing here. I need to fix this bug I made up above. Okay, so we got this. This is going to complain about this sometimes being uninitialized, which is kind of really stupid, but I'll clean that up while I'm at it. Okay. Let me see here. Okay, we got that. This hex. The length is always 8. Um, cool. So I got that. They got this. We can do the same thing. Let me think. So we got this. Got this. Still good. Some of this is gonna need to, where we go to print it, I think we need to do some work. That is true. Come on, go to the right one, please. Okay, so what's going on here? Maybe I should just make that a character type for this program. I don't know. So I'm not typing. Yeah, let's just do that because we don't really care about that right now. Um, so yeah, we're gonna go back to measure text and get rid of that cast. For now, I'll just leave this as a note, even though this code is going to be deleted. I just know they all are null terminated, so that's why I'm just doing that. I don't really care. Yeah, so here we need to make this an S8. Value. Len is also known, even though this, yeah, I don't know, this text format's kind of dumb, but anyways, probably heap allocates too. It doesn't, but it allocates sort of like some sort of buffer thing, ring buffer thing. Anyways, the length here is always going to be 4. So 1, 2, and then 2 characters is 4. Probably I don't even need to save the font size anymore. I'm going to do this because mode labels should not be a this is obviously kind of wasteful in comparison, but that's okay. Okay, so yeah, I don't care. I do not care about const. It is the biggest waste of programmer time in C. Probably not, but it's definitely one of them. Do not care. Mode text. Don't need this. Center aligned labels. What is labels? Oops. The heck? What happened there? Copy should be an SA. Paste should be an S8. Okay, so we're back to measuring. So honestly, that's like doesn't look that bad considering, but I don't think I finished replacing all of them yet either, to be honest. I did. Okay. So besides this one, so we should fix this one as well, but we're not doing text input right now, so I don't really care. Yeah, we're gonna ignore that for now. So that could be not so terrible, but we will have a look in a second, right after I go and use the washroom. Okay, so let's adjust this to display cycles per Delio. Now this is like a little annoying, and why I'd probably want this to be the format strings instead. Debug dump. So probably I should get rid of this flag and just do it if we're in debug mode, but who knows? Just do this. Format. We're gonna print the same thing for all of these, so just this will make it easier to line up some of this stuff. So first things first, line up this with some spaces, and we'll do the let's do a oops. Let's do %6 LLD LD. Let's just do 8, even though we don't need 8 digits. And then cycles. Hits. Let's do this. Okay, so we got these. It should keep everything lined up so it's easier to read. So we're gonna do cycles, hits I, and cycles divided by hits I. This could be like floating point. Nah, I don't care. We'll just lose some precision there. It doesn't matter. Okay. That's right. I-65 is not a thing. Pressed some keys that I shouldn't have pressed. And a /n at the end would be nice. This is actually readable. Okay, there we go. So that's a bit better. Probably we don't need 8, like 7's appropriate. Okay, there we go. So this measure text is usually like 500 or 600, 700 cycles. This isn't like the best place probably to be optimizing right now, to be honest, but having read the code that does this, I'm just like really annoyed by it, so I'm gonna fix it anyways. Especially because it's really easy. And also, let me check something here. Okay, we do need to keep storing that, that's fine. Just make sure everything here still like lines up with where it's supposed to be. So that's good. We come in here, let's see, we call it 17 times. See, this is where like, yes. Okay, sorry. We need to, yeah. We're not actually properly counting it. That's what the problem is. Okay. We have to do the same thing for both of these, I think. We're going to count the total number of CPU cycles. Not cycles, CPU cycles. Okay, so here when we do this, we're actually gonna this is a problem. How can we do this properly? We want it to add to the total every time. So probably we just have to be piggy here and do CPU. Um, yeah, we want to do it this way. This part is going to be the same. This part is going to be different. We want to do that. Yeah. So this number here is actually the average number of cycles per thing, which is like already like 10% of the runtime, which is actually a little significant. So let's do this, and then in our print thing here, we want to do I've been using this macro anymore. Oops, it's wrong. Okay, and then so we don't need to ever zero that one, but we do need to zero this total cycles. Yeah. So we actually don't really care about the this is gonna be the same. But now we can actually see what this should be telling us, which is, yeah. So we can be going up to like more than 10% of the time is just spent in that measure text, which is, yeah, kind of stupidity. Just make sure that this is correct, because the layout got, oops, wrong key. Can do that. Right, so there we go. So that's more reasonable. Um, Now let's add, this is in picker mode, it can be like a ton. Yeah, like it's just more than 10% of the time. It's like really bad. Like, why? Why, Raylib? What are you doing? Why are you making this so bad? Okay, so let me see. So we could add the upper and lower as well. Just for comparison, I guess. Assuming this is still like relatively structured well enough for doing that. It's probably this block is lower. But I think there's like stuff after this block. No, there isn't. This whole block. Text button. Yeah, this is these buttons, yeah. Yeah, if we go all the way up here, this should be like probably moved at some point, but and then upper would probably be okay, so like right now, this is not structured properly for testing that, because of how this is laid out. So we're going to well, fine. This isn't like a super perfect measurement of that, but that's okay. All right, so good. Upper is the most expensive, which shouldn't be a surprise. There's some cycles that are not included in upper and lower, which is fine, but so anyways, so I've got some performance counter. We're calling measure text 17 times a frame. So and it can take a lot of cycles to do that. So we are going to try to remove some of this garbage in here. So if we open external raylib source r text, let's just close this for now. We'll go to measure text ex and we will see why I think it is stupid. So it doesn't even fit on one screen. It's ridiculous. This is pointless. Like Why are you passing null to measure text? Same with the font. Like, also, this doesn't even matter. If the ID is 0, it doesn't matter because that just means that the font hasn't been loaded into the GPU, but it doesn't matter at all because, yeah, like, I don't think all of this stuff is just go to get glyph index. Where is this? So here. This is not code that's like stored on the GPU. So yeah, there's nothing in here that like even matters if it's on the GPU or not. Just completely pointless to make that check. That's a waste of time. This is a waste of time because like you know how big your text is you're passing. You always do. There's never a case. This is just like C null termination stupidity. The only reason you don't know how long this thing is because you passed the null terminated string. But at some point you must have known how long it was. So this is pointless. I don't know how long this takes. Probably not an insignificant number of cycles. Used to count longer text line number characters. Oh yeah, so this is if you considered that text had non-ASCII characters in it. So this is like this stuff is like fine. This is fine. I don't know what this byte counter is for, but who knows? This seems like some stupidity to be honest. Again, like I mean, fine if you want to write something like this, but like why would you put new lines in your text? You need to be able to you're going to be doing the wrapping yourself. Like there shouldn't be new lines hidden embedded in your text at any point. That's like kind of stupid. Um like even if you're drawing a bunch of lines to the screen. Um so get code point next. We're just passing ASCII, so this is like a waste of time. If this wasn't ASCII, then this would be necessary, but it is. So we can do that. We'll do this, even though it's probably pointless. I don't know why this is here. It's just there so that you don't have to like put this outside the loop. Like that's the only way that's there. This would be just as fine. Like I don't know. Anyways. So yeah, we're gonna do this. We're gonna copy this and not do half of this stuff. So let's open color picker. And we'll add that other one after we do this. So let's put this in here. Of course, everything's misaligned because Raylib. And we're gonna do if 0 and if. Let's do this properly so I don't have to I'll have to realign all this junk, but okay. Well, that was annoying. I don't know why I did that. I can just do this and do whatever. This is still wrong, but it's not what I meant to do actually. That's why that's still wrong. I typed the wrong thing because I'm being silly. Okay. So it's still gonna be like some of that stuff's gonna be wrong, but we'll clean that up. So vector size, nope. Result, nope, 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 nope. Why do you need a separate variable for this? Um, dot y equals font dot base size, because we're not supporting non multiple or not sizes of that thing. So this is 1, I don't care. Go scale factor. For size I less than text dot len I plus plus. No byte counter, no, none of this. If letter does not equal else. Not doing that. Where's this? Oh, okay. Yeah, we don't care about that. So we're not caring about that case. So if font glyphs, we're not doing this anymore. If font.glyphs.idx advanced x does not equal 0, result dot x plus equals this, else result dot x plus equals this other thing. Don't need that. Don't need this. We're not doing weird spacing. So there we go. That's all that code needed to do. So this thing could still be expensive, but otherwise, that is significantly less code. So let's just compile it and see how it goes. So like right now we're like 30,000, 20 to 30,000 times per loop. Well, help if I type this correctly. So that get glyph thing is kind of bad, but now we're it's still like a little unpredictable. It could go up to like 30,000, but now it's usually less than 30,000. That's a little weird still. Why is that still taking so long? Rid of that junk. That's not necessary. Hmm. I feel like this get glyph index is like still quite expensive. Like this could have been the most expensive part of the measuring the text. Also, I want to just check and make sure I didn't like break something. So let's just do this quickly. Yeah, like nothing is moving there. That's good. So if I just broke something, then what's even the point of this? So yeah, so basically this is always like over 20,000 in the normal Raylib case per frame. Da, da, da. And in this case it's usually, well, it could be less than 20,000. So yeah, I don't know. So that's already an improvement, but I want to look at what this function is doing. Um, so if support unordered char set, define support unordered char set. But why is it unordered? Like, this is just like stupidity, right? Like, it's a complete. Let's just for every character loop through all the glyphs in the whole font and just find out. That's nasty. Yeah, why would they? Why is Raylib doing that? I have a feeling that I can just do this and it's like gonna be completely okay. Because this is just asking you everything we're using. So are you kidding me? Christ. Hey Nathan, how are you? Are you kidding me, Raylib? Like, why? I can't believe that. Oh my lord. So just so that you can see what's going on here. So we have this compile, we're using getGlyphIndex, which basically does the stupidest thing it possibly can, which just loops through all the glyphs in the whole font and checks every single one of them to see if it's the right glyph. Because they might be unordered, which they're not in ASCII, but let's say they were, which again, I don't see why you would do that. You would, so this should be like a hash table type thing if that's what Raysan wants them to be unordered. It should be a hash table, but it's not. So in that case, measure text can just take, 30,000 up to 30,000 cycles. Hey Rage, ooh. I'm doing good. How about yourself? We're trying to figure out why Raylib's doing something incredibly stupid with this get glyph count. So with get glyph count, this cycles measured for measure text is like, in the 20,000 cycles, which is like 10% of the runtime. If we just use this, assuming that the thing is just ordered, the font, which it is, um, then we're down to a tenth of that, or less than a tenth of that, depending on what else is going on at the same time. You know, so we'll be doing that because yeah. So I could just, you know, I could in the meta program that compiles the font, we could just enforce this. Um, external include. So I don't know if there's like that's the compressed font data. I don't care about that. There's some rectangles, glyphs. "32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, blah, 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 all the way up to the maximum. It's just ordered, right? It's completely ordered. So, complete waste of time to assume, yeah, that the font's unordered. Yeah, sure. So this isn't really Linux programming. This is so basically I'm using a library called Raylib to do a lot of the stuff in this UI. Um, and I just did like a release of this program, but I'm still like not happy with like how much CPU time it just takes um to render. Like it's perfectly fast. There's no like slowness or anything, but I'd like it to not use so much CPU because I'd like to just leave it running on my laptop, for instance, and not have it drain the battery. Um, I did some profiling earlier, and I saw that this Raylib measure text function was getting there was like a lot of time being spent in measure text. Um, so when I went to look at what measure text was doing, it's doing like a ton of stupid things that's completely unnecessary. Um, so I decided to, let's just implement it ourselves here. Um, now by default, Raylib just assumes that the font data that it's using for drawing these fonts is like unordered, um, which could be useful if you have like a font that contains glyphs that are not ASCII glyphs. But all the characters we're just using in this program are ASCII. Like, there's no reason for anything else at the moment. Or probably, well, I mean, these could be like theoretically you could what's it called? Translate these, like localize these strings, but I don't know. I'm not worried about that. Um, so our font is just ordered, definitely. So we don't have to care about that. We can just do this index into the glyph table is just the actual ASCII code, which is what's stored here, minus 32. So that's like what this first index is. So this first index just tells you what the ASCII code that is. So like ASCII 32 is uh, sorry, it should be this. It's this. It's like space, right? ASCII 32 is space, so it's like the first character um up until here. That's all that's stored in this font. And so if you want to find the size, you just have to get your index to find the size, you just have to subtract 32 from the base value. Now, just doing this is like 10 times faster than doing whatever the heck Raylib's doing. Um, so yeah, that's what we'll be doing. Note assumes font font characters are ordered. They are in our embedded font. Like we could even go and sort them if we wanted to, but anyways. So that's a nice improvement. And then what these what these cycles are like the number of CPU cycles that are being spent to run certain portions of the program. Based on the CPU cycle count, which I think is not like the most best way of measuring CPU cycles, but it's good enough for what we're doing here. So let's go to that other measure text EX. Um, I'm into snowboarding, but like, why do you ask? Um, okay, so here we just need to figure out what was going on here, which I might need to use the debugger for because I don't particularly remember why. Oh, you saw it on my homepage. Yeah, I like to snowboard a lot, like in the winter and stuff. I haven't been going that much in the last couple years for like a couple reasons, but um, yeah, there wasn't like any snow this last winter really, so that's like part of the issue. But yeah, I usually try to go quite a lot in the winter. So this cursor keeps track of where we are in this thing. This delta is like this is really weird. Oh, I see. So it's clamped to 0 if it's less than. Okay, so that's not a bug. This delta basically means if you try to draw characters that are like, so these ones can only display 4 characters at a time. So if you insert too many characters, it clamps it to 4. This is Vis. So it's kind of like Vim, except it has like some SAM commands and like things like multiple cursors. It's like yeah, stuff like that. There's like a few things that it has that Vis or that Vim doesn't have. Okay, so this thing is clamped to the number of characters that we're just displaying. So this will just make sure that we're only displaying 4 characters or however many characters we're allowed to display. Um, VIS. I could probably link if you want. Yeah. So then here what we're doing is we're saying go to where the cursor is, and we want to measure from the start of the buffer until the cursor position. It has to be null terminated, but except now it doesn't have to be null terminated because because we're using our measure text, which doesn't care about that nonsense. So we can actually just delete this altogether and do this. So .len equals cursor data equals buff. Minus buff delta. So wait, is this like pre-advanced by buff delta? Yes. Oops, there's some junk there. Oh yeah, we don't need that junk anymore. Actually, I think the cursor is that the right place? No, it is. Yeah. No, not quite, because that's not right. I am a master's student, so no, I don't work as a C dev. It's mostly just a hobby at the moment, anyways. Um, I'd like to get a job doing something that would involve programming in, well, it doesn't have to be programming in C, but it would involve high performance programming, which means it's probably in C or some other language. Okay, so there's a bug I just introduced, and that is that buff is not the right length. So was this a bug before then? That's weird. Wait. How would that introduce a bug? I think Zig has like some good ideas and stuff in it. I don't know if like I'm that interested in Zig just because, well, I haven't tried it, so I shouldn't say, but um yeah. I think like if I was gonna try a new language right now, I'd probably try Odin. But really what I'm waiting for is like Jai. So I'd like to use that language. It looks like interesting to me. It fixes like a lot of the issues with C, or that I have with C rather. Um, yeah. So what did I just do that introduced a bug here? It's just so okay, so buffer has been pre-advanced by delta. We want to measure from the start of buff up until the cursor. Up until one before the cursor. So if this is just 0, no, so that would be right then, what I had here before. So Jai is a language that's being developed by. So Odin, okay, let's start with Odin. So Odin is a language that's just out now. I can type it and link it, that would be good. So Odin Lang is pretty cool. It has a lot of interesting features, and then Jai, I don't know what to say about that. Sorry. Let me see here. Maybe this page is okay. I don't know. Jai is a language that's not out yet. It's this page is fine. Made by John Blow, who made like the game Braid and the game The Witness. And he's basically developing that to be targeted towards like really high performance programming and like game programming and stuff. He doesn't have like a lot of. He doesn't want to like hold the hands of beginners, I guess, is a way of putting it. Um, it's like a language meant for people who know what they're doing, and want to get like the best performance out of whatever code they're writing, but also like not write a lot of like, boilerplate code and stuff like that. So yeah, those are the language I'm kind of interested in right now. Um, so I think Zig has a lot of cool stuff like that as well. There was like some things about Zig that were putting me off about it. I don't know. I could try it at some point and see how it plays out, but well, the best way to learn how to do something is to just use it and then figure out where you're making mistakes, I guess. But okay, so we're just gonna comment this out and we're gonna do this the other way. So this should have been. So this buff position, I don't really know why what I just did was a bug, to be honest. That's fine. Then we draw the text. Then we try to draw the cursor. Some of this code could be simplified, but compress. So that could be simplified. I'm calling get glyph index again. No more get glyph index. Terrible, terrible function. So let me see here. Oh, because we're doing. Where did we restore that before? No, we're not using that again, so that doesn't matter. Um, so this length should just be the cursor minus the buff delta. Probably have like a bug in something else. Or that was a bug before and I'm just silly. It's possible it was a bug before. Let's actually test that. Yeah, that was totally a bug before. So yeah, I need to fix that. um, let's just convert this first and then we'll fix that bug in a second. So don't need this, don't need this. Okay, so that's better. So that's a lot better. I can't really program. I took a course on C programming and that was it. But the C course that I took was designed for complete beginner. Yeah, I still don't know what a function is and all that, but do you have any recommendations for me where I could improve my programming? Should I learn more C or just switch to another easier language like Python or JavaScript? Well, I'm a big fan of C, and like one of the reasons I really like C is because it's actually um, really easy to just learn like all the features of C, and then you don't you know once you learn all the features of C, it's like really easy to learn like more advanced like algorithm type stuff, stuff like that. You don't have to worry about learning like complex, weird like issues with the language. Um, whereas like Python and JavaScript, maybe not. No, I think JavaScript's like the same issue. Like they both have like a lot of like really weird things that you have to just know about. They're like really complicated languages. They give you a lot, but they also they give you a lot. So I don't know. If you wanted to start with them, you could, but I started with C is what I would say. Um, I do know like a bunch of other languages now. And then what I would say is where could you improve your programming? So um, I don't know, like obviously the best way of improving your programming is to just like work on find like some project you'd like to work on and just make it. Um, but usually when you're like a beginner, you might not know like what sort of projects to make. Um, so like what I did when I first started is I mostly just read other code. So like I knew like OpenBSD for example has like a lot of like really good C code to learn from. So I might not say that now. I haven't read it in a while, so my opinion might be a little different. But um, yeah, stuff like that. You could like I don't know if you've heard of like um, Handmade Hero. So Handmade Hero, um, is not something that's really going on anymore. But there's a lot of videos that you could watch. And you could learn like some pretty good programming from that. So I would check that out. Um, I guess there's like Intro to C on Windows. I never watched those videos, but there's a lot of cool things you could learn from that. Um, yeah, that's what I would say for that. Let's do the same thing I did before as well for here. Oops. What am I doing here? So if the advanced equals 0, do this. Okay, so that's that. We're gonna compress this, but we need to fix this other bug first, which means I need to let's just save some of these though first. Um, Possibly I should split up this commit. Well, yeah, I guess I can split this up. Yeah, let's do that. Let's not split it up. I'm too lazy. Too lazy to split it up. Um, with place horrible text measure text ex and add debug cycle counts. Yeah, there's like a lot of spam. I don't know if it's like just for like like newer streamers who have like low viewer counts, but there's a lot of that spam on Twitch asking for or telling people to buy viewers or whatever they want. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, so that's what we did here. So now we can fix that bug. Do text input. Okay, so this part is fine. It's like the cursor part that's the issue. Um, so here we guess a cursor position. This part is fine. So this part is fine. It's just this part where we're going and wait, is it fine? So because this isn't where we draw the text. This is just like positioning where the cursor is. it's like we should be advancing the cursor, which we are doing here. Which means like if you insert, it should. So like this is actually what it's supposed to do. Because it's. Wait, am I just Am I just thinking about this wrong? Is that even a bug? I think I'm just thinking about it wrong, right? So if you, yeah, because you can only see, yeah, that's not a bug. So you need to see the end of the buffer, not the start of the buffer. Yeah, never mind. That's not really a bug. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, Rage. Hopefully I'll see you again. And have a good night. Um, so that's not a bug. I'm just misreading my own code, I guess. Um, this move towards thing, cursor T. Um, cursor T target. So what is cursor T even being used for? It's used for lerping between the background and the finger. Well, why do we have cursor T target when it's just 0 to 1? This is just because you guys need to figure out which direction to go. Uh, right. Yeah, okay. Never mind. So this, I also don't think I can really compress that much. Um, Let me think. So yeah, never mind. I don't think that's really doable. That's not like being measured based on like hovering or anything, so that's fine. You could use like sign or something, but I'm not gonna do that. That's like totally wasteful. Um, Now I'm gonna be right back. Okay, and I should actually leave a comment as to what I just Uh, yeah, I didn't push that yet, so I'm gonna just amend that. Um, this saves roughly 9% of our CPU time. Like basically we dropped it to like a tenth, so that's good. So what else can we can actually get rid of, well, we'll leave the debug. We'll leave that one for now. Probably it's not necessary anymore. That like told us what we wanted to know for that one. Um, oops, I don't care about this. Let me see. Just make sure. Yeah, so well, that there's like again, right? It just shows. Well, this wasn't like this isn't like these flame graphs aren't a good measurement because it's like a sample based approach. This is like a more accurate method. So so what else do we want to do? I don't know. Let me think. Is there like some like I mean, there's like other stuff we could measure. The problem is like a lot of this stuff is based on like what's going on the GPU. So you can't measure it like this based on CPU cycles. This is what color selector is this thing. Um, yeah, we can't draw. So you could make this into like two separate buttons. I don't know if that's necessary. Um, this is kind of a mess, but you could do if this was a button, you could make this a button, and then you could say if the yeah, we can do that. That's like fine. Oh, but you can only never mind. We're only doing this if it's not held, so you don't want to do that. Wait, this color selector. Wait, isn't that this? First of all, this isn't even working how it's supposed to. Second of all, there's no reason why we need to check a held index for these two buttons. Yeah, I don't know why why this is setting or touching held index. Oh, I know. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. Um, well, still, we don't need this. Press IDEX. Yeah, so that's fine, but right. So it's because if you do this, right? Yeah, never mind. Okay. Oops. Do we want to time something else? Is there like something else that could be optimized that I don't want to? It's like, I mean, I have to measure again with like perf to just see if there's something else that should be worked on. Like draw text is also doing like all this stupid stuff about calculating the length and all that garbage, but there's nothing like draw text ex. He just does like exactly the same junk. Get glyph next, get blah blah blah. Text length again, completely pointless. Okay, so oh, lime is that color. I see. Interesting. So let me think. I guess I should also make sure this still builds without debug, but this might be like a good place to stop for now. Then if we close this, we shouldn't get any random printing or anything. Cool. So that's good. Um, what else do we want to do here? So if we start printing some cycles, let me see. So let's go into color picker quickly and have just another quick cruise and see if there's something that we think is a waste of time. But I should also just not commit this part, to be honest, because that's not needed. Um, let's add like a CC temp timer. So it's just whatever you just want to time. So you could just drop this wherever. Um, okay. And that one's probably just, we're not setting that right now. That one's like better than having the measure text. And switch to slider mode. Slider mode is like more expensive, but that's okay. Oh, why is that lagging now? It's just because I'm streaming. Okay, so yeah, like you could time like anything now, but I think we're just gonna call it there for now, and then if I find something else to work on with this, I'll stream that. Otherwise, tomorrow I might stream. I think I'll go back to either the terminal emulator or the Mandelbrot program. Probably not the Mandelbrot program. I need to finish reading. I was reading a paper about floating point stuff so I could improve my ability with that. So, we're gonna call it there for now, and I'm gonna go and make myself some steak. Um, so thanks everyone for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye.